Hello and welcome to Sought Afters with Sonita, where we discuss godly relationships. And if you desire a godly relationship, subscribe so that we journey together. This particular video will be looking at expectations, unrealistic expectations, things you expect to get from being in a relationship with somebody or being married to somebody, which are not humanly possible to achieve, which the person cannot give you, the relationship cannot give you. You might have this kind of expectations. I don't even know. These unrealistic expectations, they go a long way to increase the number of divorce in marriage, the number of heartbreaks in relationships, and general unhappiness and dissatisfaction in relationships. Sometimes we have these expectations from the person that we are getting into relationship with. Sometimes we even have those expectations from ourselves. And if you have such expectations, you will always be disappointed at the end of the day. So I would like to give you 6 of these expectations that are unrealistic and how to get rid of them so that you go into a relationship without such expectations. The first is the expectation that your love will never change. Most people go into relationship expecting that the love they have for their partner will never change, and the love their partner have for them will never change. That expectation is unrealistic. Love changes over time. They expect that the feeling of being in love will remain the same. The passion and the romance of the relationship will remain the same. Nothing will change. In fact, if it should change, it will add. But unfortunately, that passion will reduce. That feeling of being in love will change. At the beginning of a relationship, you find that you can't go to bed without talking to the person. When you get out from bed, the first thing on your mind is the person, and you just want to talk with the person, be with the person. Communication is very intense, and you begin to imagine, oh, I wish we live like that forever. Just enjoy the moment, but know that it will change. A time will come when all those feelings will cool down. Mostly, it takes about 6 months to 1 year for those emotions to calm down. And when that happens, you cannot conclude that the person does not love you anymore or that you don't love the person anymore. You simply don't feel as emotionally attached to the person as before. But the thing is, at this point, you feel more committed to the person. The type of love you experience at this point, which is the love that leads to long-lasting marriages, is intentional and committed love, not the love that comes from just your feelings. So if you do not expect that your love will change, you will be surprised when you start feeling different. In as much as we enjoy these emotions at the beginning and work towards nurturing them within our relationship and within the marriage, we should not be taken aback when they reduce. It's just natural. Don't expect them to stay. Even Ecclesiastes 3 verse 1 says that there is time for every activity under the sun. There is time to feel in love, and there is time to be in love without actually feeling in love. Don't expect that your love life will be like the one you see in the movies or on social media, because in the movies and on social media, they paint only the good side. Your love will evolve over time. And in the worst case scenario, when people fall in love, they think that they'll always be in love with the same person. In some cases, you can be in love with somebody today, and then next tomorrow you realize truly that not only has the feelings dropped, but even thinking realistically, for good reason, you do not ought to be with the person again. It can go as far as ending the relationship with the person. I'm speaking in cases where you are not yet married to the person. The second unrealistic expectation is that you expect your partner to know everything about you. It's just like the person choosing a career path. Choosing engineering does not mean that they already know everything about engineering. They are yet to learn. So do not assume that somebody knows everything about you. You may think that I don't have such expectations. But let's look at it this way. Sometimes you expect your partner to read your mind. This is very common for women. You expect your partner to know how to treat you, what to do, the things that make you happy, the things that make you unhappy. When they get to do anything, that is one of those things that you hate, you react as if you thought they already knew. Let me say something like you have your birthday coming along and your partner does not do anything significant. You may assume that they know that you wanted a gift, but they did not make any effort. Let me tell you, they don't know. When you get into a relationship with somebody, start by telling yourself that they do not know you. Make an effort to let them know you. Teach your partner how to treat you. Let them know the things you hate and the things you like. Let them know the things that make you feel more in love with them and the things that make you feel less in love with them. Communicate, talk. I'm emphasizing like this because I have seen cases where lady says to me that a man who loves me will know how to treat me right. I do not totally agree with that. A man who loves you would desire to treat you right, but might not know how to treat you right. Sometimes you need to be very detailed on how you want him to treat you right. Most times, men are more clueless than we think. They have good intentions, but they don't really know what we want. And even women too. For example, as a man, you may make your partner to understand that what you want is for them to just listen to your plans and show some sort of support. Maybe not by giving you money, or maybe not by struggling to cook all the food in the house for you, but maybe you just want them to listen. Sometimes we are dissatisfied in relationships simply because you expect that the other person already know what to do to make you happy. They do not know. Tell them. And sometimes we feel hurt by what the other people have done or not done because we think that they are doing it on purpose. It is not on purpose, they are just ignorant. So you need to understand that only God can read the thoughts and intentions of another person. As the Bible says in Revelation 2 verse 23b, no human being has the ability to read the thoughts and intentions of another person. Don't think that he knows my intentions, he knows my thoughts about her. Talk, tell them. That is why even how much you love somebody, always talk it out. They are not in your mind to know. Always act it out. Your partner do not know you. They only know how much you show them and how much you tell them. Another unrealistic expectation is that you expect that your partner will be like you. You may think that you don't expect your partner to be like you, but let me ask, have you ever taken out time to find out the differences between you and your partner? Let me say, for example, just the differences between a man and a woman in relation. There are different behaviors, the things that make them feel fulfilled. Have you ever taken out time to find out the love language of your partner? Or you're abusing, showing them love according to how you want to be loved. People have different love languages. Your partner's love language might be just words of affirmation, and you're busy spending money and buying gifts, giving her. She's receiving the gifts, but she's not feeling loved, and you're wondering why she's still complaining that you're not romantic or affectionate. Or maybe your partner's love language is quality time, and you're busy cooking all types of food in the house, washing his dresses, cleaning, but he just wants somebody to sit by him and talk and listen to all his ideas, and he keeps complaining that you're not creating time for him, and you think that he's demanding too much after all I've done for him. The problem is not that you're not doing enough, it's that you're not doing what is their love language. So mostly when we get into relationship, we just assume that the things that I consider loving are the same things that my partner will consider as loving and affectionate and romantic. No. Relationship is like choosing a career. It's like somebody that have just chosen that I want to be a doctor, but refuse to enroll in school and study medicine, but then just wear a white robe and carry their toes to go and cure somebody. Imagine the kind of disaster that they will cause. So study and know the person so that you will know the things that really key in with the person. Don't assume that you already know everything about the person. Don't go with the general say out there that, oh, women like money, oh, men like sex, oh, this is what men like, this is what I'll do. No, that is not it. Study your partner, know exactly what they like. In that way, their expectations will be met. The love you're showing them, they'll really feel it. And your own expectations will be met, because you'll not feel like you are with somebody who is too difficult to love. You know exactly which buttons to press for them to feel loved. That's why Proverbs 24 verse 3 tells us that by wisdom a house is built, and by understanding that house is established. So if you want to build a relationship, it is with wisdom and understanding. You need to understand the person you're loving. Establish your relationship on understanding, not on ignorance. Don't expect your partner to be like you. Understand that your partner is different and find out the difference between you and your partner. That way, you also come to understand what can cause both of you disagreements. And even when you disagree, you understand the root cause of that disagreement. I'm sure I'll create time on this channel to teach about love language, temperaments, and differences between men and women. Between these three options, I'd like you to drop in the comment section which one you want me to start with first. Love language, different temperaments, and differences between men and women, so that you don't just assume that your partner is like you. You should know your partner and know exactly how to treat him or her. Don't forget to let me know in the comments which of these topics you want me to start with first. Another unrealistic expectation is the fact that you expect to always come first. You expect to always be the priority in your partner's life. No matter how he or she loves you, he'll prioritize you sometimes, but there will be times that he will not prioritize you. He will choose himself over you. And it will not mean that they do not love you. So simply just mean that self-love is necessary for them to be able to even continue loving you. It is unrealistic to expect that your partner will always be emotionally available. You might want to really talk with your partner, but they are not in the mood to talk at that time. There will be times when your partner will need space, not because there's anything wrong with you, but because there are things they need to sort out just within themselves. There are times your partner will not need you in their space for a moment. They might be going through some things and they just want to detox. And the best gift you can give them at that time is a little distance. It might be for days, might be for hours, but it depends. There are times that your partner just needs God and not you. Even I find myself in some situations I don't want to talk even to my husband. I want to just pray. I want to just tell God. And most men, sometimes they just want time alone from their woman, from their wife. Not that they love her less, just that it is necessary for their emotional well-being. Not to talk about our quiet time. You do not expect that even in your quiet time, you always be in your partner. Your first relationship is with your God, then with yourself, before with your partner. So, expecting that your partner will always be available for you above all else is unrealistic. They may get so engrossed in work sometimes that they kind of keep you aside for a moment. The key to that is not to tell them to drop that thing and come back to you. It's to key in with them, especially when it is not something bad. And it's something that is only momentary. You key in with them. That way, they'll be able to be in that thing and with you at the same time. I mean, people that their partners love football or are workaholics can really understand what I'm talking about. Sometimes the only way to get your husband to really talk with you is to talk what he's interested in talking about. And sometimes maybe to get your partner, your husband to really spend time with you is to watch the football he wants to watch with you. Those activities that you do together with your partner that make you happy, let them not be the only source of joy for you, because there'll be times they'll not be ready to do those same activities. It doesn't mean they love you less. It just means they are not God. Even Jesus, when he was on earth, in Matthew 1 verse 35, it says that he left his disciples and went to a solitary place to pray. There are times that your partner will leave you and go to a solitary place, physically or emotionally. It just means they are searching for themselves. It doesn't mean that your love has spoiled. Give it time and give them the space that they need. Sometimes maybe to do their hobby. Give it the time, give them the space that they need, and they will come back to you stronger. Don't always expect that they will choose you over everything else in their life all the time. That expectation is unrealistic. If you keep expecting like that, when they choose God or themselves, you will feel unnecessarily betrayed. Another unrealistic expectation is the idea that your partner will always see the ideal picture in your mind. Most people already know the kind of wife or husband that they want in their minds. So when they get in a relationship, they tend to be looking at the person in line with that picture in their mind. And whenever the person falls short of that picture that they already have in mind, they are disappointed. You're not your partner's creator. It's God who created your partner. So the partner cannot be the image that is in your mind. Sometimes we get the image from other people that we admire. Maybe it was your ex. You're with your partner and he's not doing what your ex used to do. You tend to be thinking, if only my partner could do like this. Maybe it could be your brother. It could be your father. Your father might have been very affirmative and your partner does not even know how to give a compliment. Maybe your father might be that one that used to do house chores and your husband do not know how to do house chores. Sometimes it's even the look of the person. You might have already determined that I like slim women and you actually went for a slim lady and for some reason she begins to get fat. To expect that people will suit into that picture that you have in your mind all the time is unrealistic. Your partner is not the imaginary image in your mind. It's totally someone else standing in front of you. The person does not need to be perfect. You know, the ideal picture in our mind is always perfect. Nobody will sit and condition in their mind that I want a man who does not know how to give compliments. No, when you're creating a picture in your mind, you normally always create a perfect picture. And one thing I want you to know is that in real life, you will not find that perfect picture. You will find something similar. If God blesses you with someone similar to the picture in your mind, don't expect perfection. Be able to tolerate the little absences or excesses here and there. Even Romans 3 verse 10 will tell us that none is righteous. If you're looking for a perfect person, you will not see. We are all growing to perfection. You are free to let them know your desires and your expectations, but don't be so held onto them, or else you will feel generally unfulfilled because there are some of those expectations they will never fulfill for you. And if you are holding too tight to them, you'll tend to always be unhappy in your relationships, or you may even end up having numerous broken relationships. Another unrealistic expectation is that sometimes you expect your partner to be the best on earth. You may think you don't expect your partner to be the best on earth until you're in a relationship and then you find another person doing something you wish your partner was doing, but he's not. And then you're like, oh, how I wish that this was my partner. How I wish this was my wife. How I wish this was my husband. How I wish this was my fiance. You choose to be in a relationship with somebody for good reason. Maybe their character, their behavior that you have observed, but know very well that you will still find another person that has more of that thing after your relationship. Know that your partner is not the best. If you love your man because he is kind, know that you're yet to meet a man that is more kind than him. In fact, if it is about the connection that you feel with the person, know that sooner or later in life, you meet somebody and you begin to feel that connection, maybe even stronger between you and the person. It doesn't mean that you're no longer in love with the other person. Don't do like what most people would do and say, oh, I'm not more in love with that person. I'm more in love now, but with this person. No, your partner is not the best. You people do not have the best connection that will ever exist. You do not have, your partner do not have the best character, the best looks. There are still beautiful and wonderful people out there. You still find yourself having a kind of emotional connection, maybe sometimes even with your colleague or with somebody you just met. So be aware of that. Don't expect that you never see another person better than your partner. Know that I have chosen this person, I love this person, and I'll stay with this person even if I meet another person that is better, because your partner is not the best. So these are the expectations that if you carry them with you as you're going into relationship, you'll always be dissatisfied, because nobody can meet those expectations but God. Create chance in your relationship for greater growth, for greater understanding of one another, for greater exposure of yourself to one another. But don't expect just getting into a relationship with the person, all of these things should already be in place. That is unrealistic expectation. They will only leave you unhappy in every relationship, and they leave your partner unfulfilled and also unhappy in every relationship. You'll end up being a hard to please person. Thank you.